welcome to the Peer Mentorship here on Fullerton College Television, the show where we bring a pair of friends with different skill sets to share them with our audience. My name is Allison, and I'll be showcasing my good friend Brenna and her job as a costumer. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, how are your guinea pigs doing?
They're good and healthy.
Yeah.
How are your cats?
Doing really good, actually. Lukita and Mochi have been out and about, doing really good, actually. And your guinea pigs, again, are Norbert and
Squeaker. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah,
Love those
classic
names.
guinea pig names.
And so to start us out, how long have we known each other?
So long, I think when we were wee children, in third grade.
Just wee babes.
Yeah, wee
that's true.
babes. Didn't know anything. But yeah.
True. How long, or have I ever asked you about your job before?
Yes, and I've also asked you about your job, and both our jobs are very confusing.
Confusing, I agree. It's hard to describe exactly what you do on the day-to-day.
Yes, for sure.
I love that you can attribute yours to herding cats.
Yeah, yeah. Putting out fires, herding cats.
Yeah.
Herding, not hurting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Make that distinction clear,
Yeah.
for sure. And then for those of us who don't know what a costume designer does, what exactly does that mean as a profession?
Yeah, I think a costume designer often is there from the very inception of a project, helping kind of create the whole vision. And then I step in usually as the costumer, hired by the costume supervisor, and those, specific job requirements can change per job. Yeah, depending on the scale of the production, for sure.
Totally fair.
Yeah.
Exactly. How much of the actual costumes do you, like, from inception of drawing them up to putting them on the actor, what part do you play in that?
More of the putting them on the actor.
Okay,
Yeah, that aspect of it, yeah. I mean, especially if you're a key costumer, then you interact, more with the actual main talent.
Very cool. And so, more on that, what does your average day at the workplace look like?
Yeah, it changes depending on also the genre of the project. If it's a comedy, there's a lot of gags involved, a lot of last minute changes. So a lot of last minute changes with costumes and a lot of me running out sourcing things. Yeah.
I remember a very odd story of you telling me we had to get a lot of zip ties.
Yes. It's funny because
costume.
it's so common that I don't even know what job that was for.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's been multiple times.
Yeah, I've been to all sorts of places around LA. It's very exciting.
Very exciting. And I do know you work contract-based, so how do you go about finding those contracts?
Yeah, I think unfortunately it's connections-based. I wish that there was a bigger sort of platform that you could go to source it, but it's like that friend of a friend who knows somebody who's on a production, and that's where I've mainly kind of had people reach out from. Yeah.
And so what was your journey like on choosing this profession?
I think, we would do art a lot in school, and that's kind of where our basis was starting from, and that's where I went to college for at UCLA and studied art there. But while there, it just made more sense for me to do costumes when I got involved with student theater.
Okay, and then with that, we'll take a quick And welcome back to the Peer Mentorship. We're back here again with Brenna, and we'll be asking her about her specific works. So I know you have a lot of diverse experience with the reality TV shows like The Bachelorette, The Bachelor, and then skit shows like Eric Andre. And I Think You Should Leave with Tom Robinson. What was your favorite show to work on?
I think that's so hard to say. A lot of it is crew-based. I like working with certain people, but I mean, it's such a diplomatic answer, but every job is a different learning experience. And I like working with a variety of different people.
I know how much you have like very diverse friend groups that have probably popped out of a lot of these different crews. And so what made those crews such a great experience?
I think the hang, a lot of it is just, I mean, there's pros and cons to being in a sort of unprofessional environment where you can like joke around and just sort of like riff off the cuff, but also get really deep into the work. And, you know, there's no crying on set. You just kind of let things roll over you and keep going.
Dang, okay.
Yeah.
Some tensions can be high sometimes.
Yes.
Alrighty, and then we have some photos here from the Eric Andre show, specifically the season that you worked on. Could you tell us with your experiences on that particular project?
Yeah. I got acquainted with the costume designer through a producer, and she brought me onto that show, and I honestly hadn't really watched the show before. I was familiar with it through like Tumblr memes, but a lot of it I just had no idea what was going on. You're on that stage for like 12 hours where you're prepping everything beforehand, and then everything that's going on with whoever's being interviewed is just kind of happening. And yeah, you step outside of that, but it's crazy how much work goes into like 1 second on that show.
Yeah, 12-hour days is a very long time too.
Yeah, that's unfortunately the industry standard.
That sounds about right though.
Yeah.
And we have a photo from the musician Grimes, who was a guest star on EAS. What was shooting that skit like?
Yeah, that was interesting. I didn't really get to interact with too many of the main talent because they like to keep them separate just to make it more spontaneous, but the costume PA and I both were working on distressing that outfit like day of with like 30 minutes, so like dragging it around the parking lot
like
and like beating it up.
Oh my god. That's funny. I can picture you just taking it down in the parking lot, like beating up a pair of jeans. Whatever she was wearing there.
Yeah.
And then we have a few more photos you provided of your work that you've done. And starting with this project here, what was this project for?
Yeah, that was for I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson. I also was really ignorant and didn't really know much about his work before. So I met him, and he's just a very chill, approachable, nice person, as well as Sam Richardson, who he also works with a lot on the show. Also, I had no idea what was going on, and I was like running from set to different places, sourcing different outfits or doing returns. Yeah, that was a lot of chaos as well.
Just a few more questions and then we'll let you go. What would you say was the most challenging aspect in your profession?
I would say it's all the people, but that's also the best part of it too.
Right, double-edged sword kind of
Yes,
thing.
all the different personalities.
A lot going on there.
Yeah, egos and the like.
Okay. And so thank you, Brenna, for joining me on the show. Your insight into your work is a highlight, and this has been another encouraging episode of Peer Mentorship. We hope that you are inspired to pursue something new this week, and thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time here on FCTV.